Hello, my name is Omar Rampersad. It's Friday, January 4th, 2019 at 2:32 p.m. in Toronto. So I tweeted a bunch of tweets today at ROSHINI 911. That was me. They were not hacked tweets. So I tweeted about suspected trafficking being done under the cover of flagging, the flagging system that I am suspecting is abusing the Anti-Terrorism Act, where people are flagged. Everybody is a source around the person, and the person is flagged based on lies, setups, frames, and so on. And once flagged and artificially criminalized, they're trafficked. So I went through the details of all of that before, and I'm suspecting that I'm such a victim. So I tweeted some, excuse me, still have a cold. So I tweeted some videos about microwave detection with this microwave detector. And it shows tagging. So I am being harassed with comments outside the window and everywhere I go, basically, because there is information being made public about me that's artificially criminalizing me. So this is under the Mental Health Act. So whatever is being done is being made public, and information is being used to harass me in the workplaces as well. So, so from the comments outside the window, especially when I'm home, I heard that certain body parts are tagged by certain monitors, and the monitors are changing hands all the time. They're playing musical chairs, they being the perpetrators, are playing musical chairs with me. They don't want to give me due processing, because once it's due process, then when the the court processing takes place, then they will be brought into the courts, so they'll get implicated. And I also heard that the reports that's being generated about me cannot be deleted, because some of the monitors who went and signed me out and had me stalked and are stalking me themselves, and I'm being gang stalked and mobbed and harassed anywhere I go as part of their team. They're taking peace orders out against me, presumably for me to stop harassing them, when it's just the opposite is true. They are stalking and harassing me. So I heard 2 monitors had these peace orders, but that was never served. A worker in the building and my sister-in-law. So I visited my sister-in-law's home, not because I really wanted to, but because my brother was there and he was sick, and that was the only reason. Now that he's passed, there's no reason for me to go to her house. In fact, my mercury level was high while I was living with her, so I'm petrified of actually going into the house. So there's no way that a peace order will mean anything. So it just if there is one, then it's just I'm suspecting a way of her criminalizing me, or trying to artificially criminalize me, make me look like a criminal, in other words. She's scared of me. Why would she be scared of me? Well, I heard that she already had me mentally committed, declared without disclosing to me, of course, based on lies. And I was holding 2 jobs at a time. So just as an example, if what I'm hearing is true, this would have been what she did. Keep in mind, none of this has been disclosed to me directly from her, my sister-in-law, and her family. If they had me declared, it was fraudulently done. The doctor involved is committing fraud. If my brother, who's now deceased, took power of attorney, then he did it based on fraud. And because he was targeting me as part of this community targeting program, and he saw an opportunity to take my property and give it to his kids, basically. So if he did do that, it's all based on fraud and will not hold up in court. Because I'm requesting, again, disclosure from my sister-in-law, registered legal letter. there is no excuse for her to say that, you know, she didn't have an opportunity to tell me, because this is going to go to court, and this is not a threat. It's just the way it has to be to clear my name. So the reason I'm doing this video, the main reason I should say, is I'm suspecting that there is there is accumulated information again about me. A new envelope was opened because there were 2 new flags, and the neighbors flagged me based on what they heard inside my home. And there's information being submitted to magistrates and so on again. So there is no emergency, as you can tell here. I do verbalize my frustrations. This is not meant for anybody to record. This is a direct result of being harassed and incited, deliberately being incited to anger, deliberately. So, because I complained about it, I have some people in court about it. The management is involved in the court process. The residents are very well aware of what's going on. So they are deliberately harassing me and inciting anger. They don't want this to go to court. What they do want is to have me pulled out of my home and drugged, never to come back. In fact, I have people shouting at me in the streets, in the stores. Mostly Chinese people, because they're mostly Chinese residents in the building. You can't go back in the building. You can't live there. They're shouting at me, basically. So the videos that I posted, just to get back to the videos that probably was used in these court presentations to get this writ. This is my side of the story. This detector goes off all the time around me when I point this to my body, especially in places where it hurts and burns during the night, especially. This detector goes off at a very high level. The alarm goes off, it beeps, and the light is very, very bright red. So, why? That's because I'm being harassed as I sleep. Sleep deprivation, one reason. The other reason is to harass me, to get me angry. So if I verbalize at 2 in the morning, somebody's standing outside my door or somewhere listening to what I'm saying and recording it, saying, oh, she's shouting in the night. It's not really shouting. If somebody burns your skin and hits you in your eyes, genitals at night, wake you up, you might just get a little bit frustrated. And I deal with my frustration by verbalizing it. Now, people verbalize their frustrations outside my window all the time. Workers, when the garbage is all over the place, they verbalize their frustration, swearing, whatever. I mean, this is normal human behavior. So if somebody burns your skin with a laser, burns your eyes with the laser, that's deliberately inciting anger. And anger is a natural emotion. It has nothing to do with mental illness. It has absolutely nothing to do with mental illness. Verbalizing anger is a form of self-defense, because if somebody assaults you verbally, physically, emotionally, it builds up frustrations, it builds up anger, it builds up emotions, negative emotions that has to be released. And verbalizing is one way to do so, according to my therapist. So keep in mind that these harassment tactics, they are deliberate. They're deliberately done. So these are crimes. These are crimes. So I'm being tracked. Let's go back to the microwave detection aspect of inciting anger. The pattern of detection indicates tracking. If I'm standing one place and I point this to my leg, and of course it's not going off now because I'm recording. If I'm standing in one spot and I point this to my leg, it beeps and then it stops. However, if I walk, it's constantly beeping, which means I'm being tracked. If I point it 6 inches away from my body, there is no alarm. If I point it towards my leg, towards my knee as I'm walking, the alarm constantly goes off as I walk throughout my unit. I'm being tracked. So I'm also being tagged in various spots. I'm also being tortured. Tracking is only one of the reasons I'm being radiated. I'm being tortured. Certain spots in the body is being repeatedly hit. And this includes my heart, which is why I ended up in the hospital several times. Because I found through experimentation that when I get chest pains and heart palpitations, this detection of microwaves, this alarm on this detector goes off constantly around my chest area. When I start coughing, same idea. My lungs are being tagged. So the tagging is done internally. Internal organs are being tagged. Your eyes are being tagged. So this is one way of being tracked, and also to be tortured. Microwaves, lasers, microwaves. Tasers can also be used when you're walking. There is wireless taser that doesn't need I think the old tasers used some sort of a device that actually lodged into your body once it's shot at you. I think there are new generation tasers that doesn't need that. It could be done wirelessly. In other words, electrical pulses could be sent into your body wirelessly. This could be done as well by gangs who have the money to buy this technology. So there is no mental illness, and there is no emergency. If people are concerned about me, then serve the writ. We will go see you in court. But there is no need to pull me out of my home, and no need for drugging. Talk to you another time.